Hello everyone, today we're going to make a reaction to Geography Now Uzbekistan episode. So originally in description I'll start the video and we'll be learning about my favorite country in Asia. My favorite country in Europe was Norway, and the favorite country in Africa was Algeria, and the favorite country in Oceania was Australia. So I'm not sure about North and South America yet. But originally in the description, I'll start the video.
So we've scaled the oil fields of Azerbaijan, tamed the horses of Kazakhstan, climbed the mountains of Kyrgyzstan, crossed the cities of Turkey, jumped through the marble fires of Turkmenistan, and now it is our last and final Turkic country. Welcome to the silver powerhouse, Uzbekistan.
Okay, let's learn about Uzbekistan.
Hey everybody, I'm host Barbs. Get your Geography Now merch at this Geography Now shirt at geographynow.com. And as this is the lucky 7th final country episode, for a limited time, we are selling a limited number of Geography Now figurines.
I believe, and I believe that Kyrgyzstan would be the last country that starts with a 10, or maybe not, but never mind.
If you're interested in getting the limited amount of these little guys that we got right here, go to the link in the description of this video and the first pinned comment. And if you are one of the first 193 people to buy this to represent the 193 countries that were on the channel, then I'll be
193 countries, so
it's time to learn geography now. Oh man, this little guy looks me. I look like a burning dumpster.
I might do it more in 2027.
As you know, Malika, the co-host of the Turkmenistan episode, is half Turkmen and half Uzbek, and I kept my promise. Everyone, Malika is back.
Hi.
Yeah, Malika, what have you been up to?
There's actually someone that you guys should meet.
Oh, wow. Who's this? Oh man, what happened?
This is my fiance, Rauf. We met from the Turkmenistan episode.
Oh, am I invited to the wedding? What's going on?
Well, Barbs, how about this? Since you were the matchmaker, I'll give you the honor to be my best man.
I'm the best man.
Yeah.
Question: can I exploit your wedding for views to my subscribers?
Absolutely.
Yeah, all right. That's all I care about.
So, Barbs, I'm so glad to be co-host for this episode.
Well, see, that's kind of the thing.
Wait, what?
At the very last second, Geography Jahon kind of gave me and my mom a sponsored trip to Uzbekistan. So, we're going to actually go there for this episode. He's going to be the co-host of the...
I mean, did you at least write anything for us in the script?
Oh, yeah, don't worry. I got some skits and segments for you guys. So you're good.
Oh, okay, well then, yeah, sure. You can ditch us out here. Yeah, go to Uzbekistan.
All right, so we are here filming on location again. We've done this before in a few other episodes. Say hi to our Uzbek go-to co-host, Jahon, but I call him Jackie Boy. Say hi to Jackie Boy.
Assalomu alaykum, birodarlar. Uzbekistan episodiga xush kelibsiz.
So you guys may have recognized him from the Tajikistan episode, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Why were you in the Tajikistan episode?
I kind of snuck in because I wanted to be on Geography Now.
He totally tricked my ass. He's actually an Uzbek.
But we love Tajiks. They're our brothers, essentially. And I also helped you find the sponsors because that's what we do as Uzbeks. We know how to make deals. We rule the Silk Road.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, he did get me a free flight to Uzbekistan, so what can I say?
Welcome to Uzbekistan. Oh, wait. We've got to do something first.
Oh. Whoa, okay. This is happening.
Isn't it much better?
Okay, so this is political geography.
The actual name of Uzbekistan should start with an O and apostrophe. It's Uzbekistan, but it was changed to Uzbekistan. Long story short, because of the Russians.
They don't have the in their alphabet. So because of Uzbekistan's incredibly advantageous location, almost every major historical empire on Earth wanted the lands that they are in.
The history is way too complicated. Even Uzbeks don't fully get it.
But let's try.
Scythians,
Bactrians and Sogdians,
Masageta,
Achaemenids,
Macedonians come in,
Parthians next,
Arabs,
Macedonian Empire was Greek.
Abbasids,
Samanids,
Karakhanids,
Seljuks,
Khwarezmians,
Mongols.
Then the Mongols split up.
Timurids,
Shaibanids,
Khanates of Khiva, Bukhara, and Kokand.
the Russian Empire, and then the Soviet Union.
And finally, independence. So as you can see, because of all these historical factors, over time, Uzbekistan became a patchwork of all these domains pieced together.
And because of this, the territorial anomalies are insane with Uzbekistan. And you guys know how much I love territorial anomalies. It gets really cool with this one.
And let's discuss it in the motion and graphics.
First of all,
Alright, then.
Uzbekistan is located
And
in
the
Central
thumbnail will be
Asia,
the flag.
sandwiched between 5 countries.
I
and
mean,
is
not
one
the
of only
flag, I
two
mean the map.
doubly landlocked countries in the world,
Alright,
the
then.
other being Little Liechtenstein. No oceanside resorts for you, Uzbekistan, sorry. Anyway, as you can see by the map, the west side of the country has pretty simple straight borders, but when you look at the east side, it gets completely jumbled up in a weird jittery line that looks like it was drawn by a psychopath. Welcome to the Fergana Valley. Uzbekistan has 4 enclaves in what is the Batken region of Kyrgyzstan, the largest one, Soch, followed by Shohimardon, and the 2 super small ones, Chonkora and Jani Ayil. Also keep in mind, although not an enclave, the Yangi Korgong district in the Namagan region has an incredibly narrow choke point, only about 300 meters wide, with Kyrgyzstan on each side. Pretty crazy. On top of that, 2 exclaves of other countries lie within the country of Uzbekistan. They are the Tajik enclave of Sarvan, as well as the small Barak enclave that belongs to Kyrgyzstan. From there, Uzbekistan is divided into 12 regions, 1 autonomous republic, the Republic of Karakalpakstan, and finally the capital and largest city of the country, Tashkent, meaning City of Stone, is also designated as an independent city. From there, the second and third largest cities are Samarkand and Namagan. The country has 53 airports, and Tashkent is home to the largest and busiest one, Tashkent International. Now, about 80% of the population lives in the easternmost regions, yet they still connect well to the outer regions and surrounding countries. Roads go pretty far, like the longest highway, the A380, which goes all the way from Guzar to Nukus in Karakalpakstan. They also have an extensive rail network that reaches all their neighboring countries, yes, even Afghanistan. And in 2011, they opened their first high-speed rail, which has been upgraded and now extends all the way from Tashkent to Bukhara. In addition, they have the longest non-metro broad-gauge railway tunnel in the world, the Kamchik Pass Tunnel that goes nearly 20 kilometers or 12 miles through the Ugam Mountains, connecting Angren to the delightfully named town of Pop. So as you can see, the Uzbekistan domain has a lot of confusing demarcations. How did it all end up that way? Well, it had a lot to do with the Soviets, and it was kind of like, okay, we have to figure out this whole SSR thing between you guys. Let's take a regional demographic survey of this area. What are you?
I am Uzbek.
And what about you?
I'm Turkmen.
And what about you?
I'm a ginger Tajik.
What about you?
I am from Kyrgyzstan.
Okay, hear me out. This is what we're gonna do. Okay, here we go. Maybe put the border around here. Yeah, that's good, right?
Excuse me? I'm under Uzbekistan?
Okay, whatever. Just figure something out between you two where you guys have autonomy or something. I'm done here. Peace out. And that's basically how it happened.
And on that note, if you look at the map, the eastern half of Karakalpakstan is basically the most enigmatic, untouched part of the country. I'm talking about the strange Ustyurt Plateau. And from there, the real mystery of Uzbekistan begins.
Well, I found something very strange on the map, and I asked all my Uzbek subscribers if they knew what it was, and only one of them found out. Let's have Asalia explain.
Hey guys, I'm Asalia. If you zoom in at the map of Uzbekistan, you will notice that in Karakalpakstan there is this sharp, narrow piece of land. You will notice that there is a pretty strange fortress located at the edge of it. There's absolutely no label on Google Earth or Google Maps. What is that fortress? And it ended up being the Davkesken fortress. It is a mud citadel that sits on the 30-meter high cliff and was built as a defensive system in 16th century. We actually have so many hidden fortresses and castles, ruins that are located in the desert area that are still being discovered today. It's a cool place to explore.
Thank you, Asalia.
Yeah, so even to this day, more and more sites are being discovered, especially in this part of Uzbekistan.
Basically, the biggest thing you need to know is Timur or Tamerlane.
This guy kind of saw himself as the rightful heir of Genghis Khan, even though he was not a descendant. He was obsessed with the Mongol tactics and kind of wanted to revive the Mongol Empire. Basically, he's seen as like the father of Uzbekistan, or at least the Timurid dynasty that included parts of what is now Uzbekistan. But he has his controversy though. It's estimated that about 5% of the world's population was killed by his military campaign.
His numbers
Let's
got
not
up there.
talk about
He
that.
killed quite a few people.
He was pretty ruthless. He even made pyramids of skulls all around his domain as an intimidation tactic for his enemies.
Fun fact, on his tomb, it read, "Whoever disturbs my tomb will unleash an invader even more terrible than I." And in 1941, the Soviets actually excavated his body, and then 2 days later, Hitler invaded the USSR.
Okay, let's not talk about the Austrian painter. Let's not talk about the Austrian painter. I guess we have enough World War II
But the funny thing
references.
is, Timur wasn't even really like an Uzbek.
Nah, he wasn't. He was a Timurid. They were Turco-Mongols of Central Asia living on the same territory at that time.
So the Shaibanid Sassanids were kind of like the
Is this
proto-Uzbeks?
Yes, well, they were the ones who called themselves Uzbeks. So they pushed his great-great-grandson, the guy called Babur, and they have to move into India as Mughals.
So you know the Mughals, the Taj Mahal? Turkic peoples. Well, with famous tombs and notable spots in mind, let's move on to the famous places segment. And who better to take it than geography? Lana. Take it away, Lana.
Assalamualaikum
Excuse me.
warahmatullahi
Hi, Lana.
I'm Lana, and I'm here to tell you about
Excuse
some
me.
of the top places that you can see
Excuse
if you
me.
decide to come to
Alright then.
Uzbekistan. So
Alright
first
then.
of all, everybody knows the trinity of the top Uzbek cities, Samarkand,
Alright then.
Bukhara, Khiva, and one reason is because all of these cities together hold something very important to our nation. They each hold a UNESCO heritage site. Bukhara's historic center, Ichankala in Khiva, and Samarkand. Like the entire city is just a UNESCO site itself. Otherwise, the other UNESCO sites are the Shahrazab's historic center, which by the way has the Palace of Timur and the Western Janshan Mountains. So many ancient ruin sites such as the Kanka ruins, ancient Termes, Kokhan Historic Center, Chorbakın, and Babatin complex. And even more ancient,
this
like
is
the rock
interesting
painting
country.
sites that predate
I
modern
love,
civilization.
extremely
We
love
also have modern
Uzbekistan.
buildings and accommodations. In the middle of Tashkent, there's a beautiful city park with a huge fountain and plazas. Nukus has a beautiful museum of art, and just up north is Moynakh, which used to be the port city on the Aral Sea before it dried up. Tourists love coming here for the creepy yet fascinating view of rusty abandoned ships in the middle of the sands. If you just want to have a fun recreational experience, we have amusement parks like Anhar Park and Shopping Mall, the Pakhtakar Central Stadium, Tashkent Land, Magic City Park, Aqualand Tashkent. Yes, Uzbekistan has water parks. And last but not least, one of my favorite, which is the Tashkent TV Tower that rotates around itself, and you get the most beautiful view of the capital city. Well, in any case, that's not even the beginning of all the amazing things, but maybe just a good beginner's guide. I hope you'll have fun if you ever decide to visit and see some of these sites.
Thank you,
Alright
Lana.
then.
But as you know, we are just getting started because there's a lot of nature and landscape stuff to discuss.
So let's go to the next chapter, chapter
Alright then.
2 of this Uzbek quest, shall we?
Okay. Physical
So,
geography.
lying mostly in the
Alright
lands
then.
formerly known as Transoxiana, or the land beyond the Oxus River, Uzbekistan
Alright
is a
then.
place filled with physical mysteries
Alright then.
all over.
You have everything from snow to sand, but
Alright
first,
then.
let's jump back into the motion graphic, shall we?
Alright then.
First of all, about
Sorry, I had
80%
to
of the
censor a
country
little
is
bit of
covered in flat,
well,
dry
what's your
desert
Germany
topography,
things,
as much of
because
it lies in
I
the
do not
Taran
promote hate
Depression,
speech.
a big deserty lowland
Alright
area
then.
east of the Caspian, shared with Turkmenistan
Alright
and
then.
Kazakhstan. Starting with the far western side of the country, sitting on the elevated Ustyurt Plateau
Alright
that we
then.
already mentioned, you can find the massive
then.
Barsa Kelmes Salt
then.
Flat, which means place of no return.
then.
And in the south part, it borders Sarıkamış
then.
Lake with Turkmenistan, the largest shared
then.
lake of the country. From there, we head down the plateau and
then.
reach the longest river of the
Alright
country,
then.
the Amudarya, and its
Alright
delta.
then.
These waters flow north, and prior to
then.
the 60s in Soviet times, they
then.
fed into the Aral Sea, which used to be the
then.
fourth largest lake in the world. Unfortunately, the river water was diverted by irrigation canals to the east in order to boost up the cotton industry's demand, and since then the sea has dramatically shrunk. In 2014, for the first time, the entire eastern basin dried up, and locals now call the area the Aralkum, or Aral Desert. Fortunately, thanks to some re-engineering efforts, waters have been redirected and some of the sea has been filling back up again, but unfortunately it will take some time and much of the waters are still polluted. But it's a start. From there, we head a little more east and reach the second dry area, the Kizilkum Desert, which has the largest lake fully within Uzbekistan, Aydarkul. Head a little more east and we reach the famous eastern and Fergana valleys. This is the most lush and green part of the country, primarily used for agriculture. It also has the longest river fully within Uzbekistan, the Angren, that drains into the Buyabuguz Reservoir. Following the Sirdarya River, the Fergana Valley is like the hidden gem nestled right in a pocket between the Ugam Chatkal Range and the Gisar Range of the western Tian Shan Mountains. The Gisar Range in the south also has the tallest peak of the country, Hazret Sultan. Overall, keep in mind all the rivers are fed by snowmelt from the Tian Shan Mountains that mostly start in Tajikistan and Kyrgyzstan.
So basically, as you can see, the importance of water, let alone good water, is kind of recurring theme in Uzbekistan.
So now let's get to the biggest topic in regards to Uzbekistan's physical makeup, the Aral Sea. So what exactly happened?
Okay, so to summarize, actions of the USSR, cotton, chemicals, and viruses.
So basically, after the Aral Sea dried up, it left behind a huge salt flat, which rendered the land useless for cultivation.
In addition, the winds and sandstorms would often pick up the salts and spread them across the country, often hitting agriculture zones, which made things worse.
We even drove around the Karakalpakstan region, and you could see like salt all over the ground everywhere. And even when the water gets wet, the salt just naturally rises up. It's crazy.
Today, even though the sea is starting to fill back up, map, there is still concern for the waters from the rivers that feed into it.
Runoff from
Alright then.
industrial residue and
Alright
fertilizers
then.
in the agriculture zones
Yeah,
usually contain
alright
heavy
then.
metals and other chemicals make their way into
Oh.
the lake.
In addition, you have the Rebirth Island, or
Man, I'm so
Vozrождение in
tired.
Russian, which used to be the site of the Soviet bioweapons development called Aralsk 7.
So basically in the 70s, it was reported that an accidental release of the variola viruses like anthrax and smallpox and the bubonic plague made their way out of the labs, which contaminated the area.
Since the collapse of the USSR in 1991, the site was never fully cleaned up.
So the Aral Sea has a lot of problems, long story short.
So it's generally not recommended that you swim in many parts of the sea, but some locals swear that some areas are safe.
Yeah, there's even videos and documentaries of people like, you be the best judge if you ever make it out there.
In any case, water isn't the only resource
let's not talk
Uzbeks
about.
are focused on. There is so much more going on.
Which means right now, Mr. Noah is going to fill in for the rest of the segment. Take it away, Mr. Noah.
Noah.
All right, Barbs, I got this. But I have to do my segment, so hold on to this, would you? Okay. Let's roll, shall we? All right, Uzbekistan. So as the hub of the Silk Road, business has always been second nature. For one, the largest export is locked away, hidden within the harsh, hot deserts. I'm talking about precious metals, specifically gold. You can find the largest open pit gold mine in the world and second largest in terms of production. On top of that, they are one of the world's top 5 largest producers of uranium. Together, mined substances make about 30% of all the nation's exports. And believe it or not, Uzbekistan usually ranks in the top 10 largest cotton producing countries in the world. Although cotton had been growing in Uzbekistan for thousands of years and is used in their famous carpets, production of cotton dramatically increased during Soviet times as the government strictly controlled and demanded quotas on collective farms. This meant that oftentimes forced labor was implemented on Uzbeks, sometimes on children as young as 9.
Both of my parents did, yeah. My dad did it through his own free will. Well, through his own free will, through like his job and whatnot. Meanwhile, my mom kind of had to do it like through her university. I wrote an article about it that you guys can check out on my website, thecentralasianchronicles.asia.
Even after independence from the USSR, the practice still continued until recently when boycotts started. This prompted the government to crack down on labor issues. In 2022, the International Labor Organization announced that the cotton industry was free of child and forced labor. In 2017, the country underwent a foreign exchange policy refinement, which opened up their commerce to the world much more. And since then, they've seen a rapid economic growth. Unfortunately, we do notice that some companies have a complete monopoly over certain industries. For example, almost all consumer electronics are produced by the company Artel, and almost all cars on the roads are Chevys, and specifically white Chevys. Fun random side fact:
Uzbekistan's license plate is also displayed the same way as Russia, on the right, on the right side, and Kazakhstan and the other countries have on the left side, just along with Armenia, Georgia, even Ukraine on the left side. Never mind, let's not talk about that.
Live on in other parts of the country. And to talk more on animals in both the water and land, let's bring it to our correspondent, Caleb.
All right, guys, good to be back after I was replaced by a Uruguayan celebrity in the last episode. But now I'm back, and this time I'm me. Gary Harlow's dead. I killed him, but I shoved him back down. Oh, that was him. He came back for a second. Today, Uzbekistan has about 10 nature reserves and 2 national parks.
Alright then.
Due to them having undergone a radical
I
change
guess we have
ecological
Caleb.
makeup,
There's no
the
Gary
wildlife prevalence
anymore.
has seen a
Alright then.
regional shift in the past few decades. If you go to the former port town of Moynak, you can still find seashells buried within the sands, showing evidence of the once flourishing waters that once made up this vast sea. There's even a museum that displays how diverse and rich the wildlife of the area once was, with a plethora of bird species like herons, ducks, flamingos, swans, pelicans, as well as the famous Turkestan sand cat. Before the sea dried up, the most common species were the various sturgeon, arrow trout, northern pike. There was even a huge canned fishing industry that the town was heavily dependent on. Otherwise, the dry seabed is transformed into a desert scrub-infested sandscape. Oddly enough, it's allowed new species to move in, like the Persian gazelle, the jerboa and gerbils, the Buhara deer, horsehack fox, those freaky-looking saiga antelope, and of course, the ever-so-famous two-humped bacterian camel, famous for being the main choice of transportation across the deserts of Silk Road.
Hey, Caleb, remember that time we ate camel hump in Somaliland?
It's the worst thing I've ever tasted in my life. Otherwise, on
Okay,
the
let's
other
not talk
side of
about that.
Uzbekistan, you find a more abundant variety of fauna, including the national animal, the white stork. You will find it on the national emblem and statues of it all over Uzbekistan, as well as the rare and endangered snow leopard that lives in the mountains of the Far East. Anywho, to summarize, despite destructive human actions, life still surprisingly finds a way to hold on. You just have to look in the right places to find it. And now I'm going to find my family that I just quickly ditched to film this segment of Geography Now. Come, white stork of Uzbekistan, take me away!
Thank you, Caleb. Fun fact, Caleb is speculated to be of the human species, but lab tests are still being processed. In any case, as you can see, Uzbekistan is able to flourish with its many diverse landscapes. And one thing that is also diverse is the variety of crops that grow in their fields. To talk more about the food of Uzbekistan, let's bring it back to Geography Asalia.
Food! Okay, that was weird, but I tried. You can already feel my excitement because Uzbek food is just mwah. Before you eat, what do? You get a drink,
So this video
right?
is also
Green
very
tea
long, but
is our absolute favorite drink. I would
Ukraine is
say
also
that
very long
everyone's
too, but
favorite tea is
I'm doing
this
Ukraine
Tokchoy
after
95.
this.
Some Uzbeks do drink alcohol.
Odin.
And actually, my favorite wine is Ayva or Queens. Second of all, we also grow a lot of grains and we produce a lot of bread. And our bread looks like this, and there is many more other versions of the bread, and it depends on the region. We also grow a lot of rice, and we make plov or pilaf. Every region has its own version of plov. Also, Uzbek cuisine tends to have more noodle dishes compared to other Central Asian countries. Another famous dairy product that we have is kurt, and kurt is my absolute favorite thing from Uzbekistan. Our favorite protein is mutton, beef probably is second. We like to cook it in dishes like shurpa, domlama, and shashlik. The meat also goes good with other dumplings that we make like chuchvara, mantli, somsa, hodem. It's just the best. There's of course much more that you can see and taste in Uzbekistan, but these are the basics. Thank you, and I hope that you get to try our food sometime.
Thanks, Asalia. Well, there you go. We've covered everything from precious metals to precious ingredients in cuisine. Uzbekistan definitely knows how to work with the land they have. And do you know what else is precious? Mjolnir.
Thank you, Noah. The weird thing I realized is that the food in Uzbekistan, there's a lot of like parallels with Korean food. Like me and my mom, we met a Korean in Chorsu Bazaar. They make like an Uzbek style kimchi. Yeah, it's crazy how like the food tells you a unique story about the people that live in this country. But yeah, let's dive more into the people of Uzbekistan in the next segment, shall we?
Okay, let's learn about demographics.
So the term Uzbek comes from the Sultan Riyaz al-ad-Din Muhammad Uzbek Khan, also known as Uzbek.
And to summarize, in the Turkic world, historically,
the Oghuz, or Western Turks, mixed in mostly with the Arabs and Europeans.
The Kipchaks mostly kind of mixed in with the Russians and Mongolians.
However, the Karluks, the Uzbeks, and Uyghurs are the most Persian-inspired Turks. We'll explain a little more in a bit, but first, let's go to the demographics graph.
First of all, the country has over 36 million people and is the most populous of all the Central Asian countries. The country is made up primarily of people that identify as being ethnically Uzbek at around 84%. From there, the next largest groups are Tajiks at around 5%, Kazakhs and Karakalpaks at about 2.5%, Russians at about 2%, and the rest are made up of other groups. Some notable communities include Koreans or Goyoin, Turkmens, Tatar, Ukrainians, and Armenians.
For currency, we use SOM, we use the types CE and F flag outlets, and we drive on the right side of the road.
And speaking of money, I learned that in Uzbekistan, if you are not Uzbek, they will charge you differently, but it's weird, they have like a ranking system based off of what country you're from. So like, they might charge less for people that are Thai or Malaysian as opposed to like Americans or Europeans. But there is a hack. If you can pass as Uzbek and not say a word, and your Uzbek friend speaks for you, you can get a significant discount. My mom and I did this so much. I love being racially ambiguous.
Yeah, you could like blend into our society.
Could I pass?
Yeah, of course you can.
Yeah, you can pass as Uzbek.
Language-wise, Uzbek is a Turkic language related to others like Turkish or Siberian. Our closest linguistic cousins are Uyghurs, found in Xinjiang Autonomous Province of Western China. I can communicate with Uyghurs. I can understand 80% of them, but I cannot read their alphabet. They write the way we used to write 100 years ago.
On that note, yes, Uzbek was originally written in the Arabic/Persian script, then in Cyrillic during Soviet times, and now as of 2023, the Latin script has officially replaced the Cyrillic, but they are still kind of transitioning on a public scale. You might occasionally see Cyrillic still being used in newspapers or street signs. The Karakalpak people still use Cyrillic. They don't change it, right?
That's right, yeah, we saw that when we went there. As a Turkic language, we can generally get by speaking with some of the other Turkic people, but it can get a little complicated sometimes. For example, here is what it looks like when a Turkmen talks to an Uzbek.
Ata, kayırdasın. Kayırdasın.
Melika,
Ha.
كذا أتم بردن قهار جل فين
Yo.
والله دمشين
Sen.
فين
Sen.
صوغت
Soğuk.
سوال
Sağol.
كذا مث ديوتين
Man sığdı utrpan.
So, anywho, let's talk about religion. In Uzbekistan, the majority claim to be Muslim at about 96%-ish, mostly Sunni.
The level of social conservatism varies by region. Not all women wear hijabs, and alcohol drinking is not uncommon.
I can get a bottle of vodka down the street.
Literally.
I'm pretty sure you got vodka in this house.
Yeah.
There are noticeable Christian communities today, mostly amongst the Russian Orthodox, Armenian, and Korean and Assyrian communities.
And on that point, the city of Bukhara has for millennials been the home of the largest Jewish population in Central Asia. Today, most of them moved out, and now there are estimated to be around 10,000 left, but you can still see synagogues operating all around the town.
In fact, Uzbekistan has quite a few interesting regional communities, and it has three non-Uzbek groups that dominate certain areas. The Tajiks dominate Samarkand and Bukhara.
Obviously, Kipchaks, like Karakalpaks and Kazakhs dominate the northwest.
And then you have the Khwarezm people along the Amu Darya River. They're basically the cousins of the Turkmens. And fun fact, it's the birthplace of Zoroastrianism.
And then you find the unique small fringe groups that were displaced during the 1930s Stalin years of the USSR, like the Crimean Tatars or Armenians.
And yes, even the Koreans, probably the most furthest displaced community. It's so funny. I actually got to meet some of them with my mom here. They're actually culturally closer to the North Koreans, for the ones that actually do speak Korean. Actually, most of them don't speak Korean. They mostly speak Russian.
For what it's worth, though, Uzbekistan was a central hub of culture, commerce, and education back in the ancient times. Samarkand was the site of the most prestigious university in the Islamic world. They even had an ancient astronomical observatory.
After independence, an Uzbek cultural revival really started to kick off, and today you have people like Jahan and Malika making content promoting culture and so on.
And another group of people spreading the cultural pride of the nation would be the young athletes.
Talk more on that. Here's Art with the sports part.
Okay, sports.
Oh, guys, look, you never would have guessed. It's me. It's Art.
We never would have guessed.
So, like their Central Asian neighbors, Uzbekistan follows very similar themes in terms of athletics. Remember in the Turkey episode, we talked about oil wrestling, where they get all like lubed up and it's clean and they like. But what do Uzbeks specialize?
Never mind.
Well, ever since the breakup of the USSR, Uzbekistan has participated in the Olympics independently. They've been doing better and better each year, racking up 37 medals as of 2021. And which event do they excel at the most? It's not lubed up wrestling. It's boxing. Today they've achieved 5 goals and 15 altogether. These guys have become world-renowned boxers and have quickly risen up the ranks. Probably the most notable one is Baklava Jalalov. The guy.
Bahadır Jalalov.
So this dude has won multiple world championships and a gold at the Olympics. And this lady, Aziza Yakubova.
Aziza Yakubova.
Where does she keep coming from? This lady paved the way for female boxers as the first Uzbek female boxer to not only compete internationally, but win a medal. There's more than just boxing in Uzbekistan. There are powerhouses in wrestling and weightlifting categories with 2 Olympic golds in each of those as well. Nevertheless, most Uzbeks will say football is the most popular sport. They have 14 teams in the Premier Football League, in which they call the Super League, or the Coca-Cola Uzbekistan Super League. This, of course, means futsal, or indoor smaller spaced football, is a big deal as well. They will even host the 2024 Futsal World Cup. Well, that's it for me, guys. There's absolutely no more sports in Uzbekistan, so...
Okay, actually, there is. So we also have Buzkashi, also known as Kupyada, and also we have Kuresh, which is also known as Uzbek wrestling.
Where do these people keep coming from?
Thank you, Art. So what are some things I noticed that only you Uzbeks do? For one, you always put your hand on your heart.
That's a respect, showing respect, like from a heart, meaning like I'm being honest. So there's also an Uzbek tea ceremony thing. When you get passed on the teapot, you have to kind of like reshuffle it 6 times. Also, some of the Uzbeks are quite superstitious. It's not uncommon to see a bunch of chilies being hanged onto the, the entrance door to keep all the bad spirits away.
It's just so crazy. Anyway, to summarize more on the culture of Uzbekistan, here's Random Hannah, who is no longer pregnant because she finally popped out that kid. Say hi to Random Hannah.
Hi, peeps. Hello. I am MIA this segment because, as you can hear, I had a baby. Well, me and Ian had a baby. He's back there in the car. Here is Caleb to do a subpar job at covering my segment, and I will see you guys next time I film, which hopefully is the next episode. All right, bye.
Bye.
Mwah.
So I'm back. Paul was like, hey, I need you. Hannah ditched me because she has a child. Whatever. So like, first and foremost, traditional clothing. Everywhere in Uzbekistan, you will come across women wearing the Han.
Okay, we're learning about culture this time. Okay,
women are allowed to wear
I
silk,
guess
and for men,
Hannah
the
is actually
khan
married.
the most common article of traditional clothing.
We
It
have
can come in
barbs
plain
right here.
or with fancy gold trimmings.
Okay, we know everyone in this section.
Otherwise, at the very least,
So
both men
I
and
guess
women
art
have
is
their dopa,
both-
usually made with the intricately
has both
stitched
Polish
or
and
beaded
Scottish
design,
heritage.
and many of them actually come folded up, and you
Never
can
mind,
open it
then
up
let's
like
not
a box,
get
right
forward.
on your head. And Kharazm men and women have one of the most insane dances, where the men shake their heads with their telpex, and women do the Lazgi dance, said to be inspired from a girl tripping on beads, not tripping balls, tripping beads.
Excuse me.
Also,
Okay.
at weddings, sometimes you'll see the midnight fire ritual, where the groom carries the bride around a fire 3 times, and the groomsmen jump over the fire. What is a beshik? The beshik is a Central Asian baby cradle heavily used in Uzbekistan, which contains a hole in it. Now, what do you do with the hole? Well,
Okay.
put a small bucket in the hole that acts as sort of a toilet for the baby. Many restaurants and even homes in Uzbekistan provide an ivan, or raised platform, with cushions that you sit on cross-legged to eat your meals. Uzbekistan is a powerhouse of visual arts. The 2 most common colors you'll see there, green and blue. These are used especially on all historic sites. Otherwise, just walk around and you'll see the colors used on their
And I don't know, its music section will be the next.
Which is made with the ishkor plant and crushed quartz. There are so many known poets, but basically this guy, Alisher Navoy, was like the Shakespeare of Uzbekistan. Uzbek Film, the oldest and largest film studio in Uzbekistan, was established in 1925 in Tashkent. Fun fact, all films usually prefer dubbing in other languages rather than subtitles, and all roles are usually done by one man, one woman that are incredibly monotone. It's like,
Legally registered husband, I am having upset for you going into space.
foolish wife, do not be having fearfulness. I am doing good for proletariat comrades.
Also, I am having baby, is yours.
Yahoo, Yahoo, I am will having be of fatherhoodness. In any case, fun fact, you can even rent out parts of the Registan for a private event. Yes, you can rent out a UNESCO heritage site all for yourself. It's expensive, but still possible. And one person that would look totally interesting performing music there would probably be Keith. And to talk more about the music, let's move on to our Florida man, Keith.
Whee! What's going on, everybody? Hope everybody's having a great day out there. Excuse me. I don't know why I'm so gassed. Either way, let's get into it. The Uzbekistan episode. Basically, in traditional music, Uzbeks use a lot of string instruments and drums.
Such as
tar, doira, the tambur, dutor, satar,
Satar,
jack,
jack,
surane, and the zang.
The most common style of traditional music is called makam. It's a passionate vocal style that has very different regional styles within the nation. This lady is like a queen of makam. All Uzbeks know her. This lady.
I'm not laughing, but
Uzbeks also have a very cool singing style called ghazal, a solo singer reciting an old Uzbek poem. Here are some of the top ghazal artists known throughout Uzbekistan. Look them up if you want. Check them out. Support international music from all around the world. Then you have the Kata Asula, which translates to great song. This is a unique style of singing because you'll notice they hold a plate in their hands while doing it. Why do they do this, you might ask? It's because the plate acts as like an amplifier that makes the voice louder, especially when in an acoustic setting. Wow. Interesting, right? Uzbekistan has so many music festivals and events, but the most important music event would be the Melodies of the Earth Festival, which takes place every 2 years. It is a UNESCO International Cultural Event. Otherwise, there's a ton of modern music as well. This guy is like the founder of Uzbek pop music. Because of him, current Uzbek pop artists have been able to follow in his footsteps and make a name for themselves, like the divas of Uzbek pop. This one is like Britney Spears of Uzbek pop. I mean, who doesn't love some Britney Spears. I don't know about Britney Spears today. Filming TikTok videos with mimes and looking all weird and deranged. There's even some bands that were super popular during Soviet times, like Yalla and Sada.
And the founding father of Yalla, Farrokh Zokirov, was the brother of Botir Zokirov, the founder of pop music. See, everything connects. All right, well, that's it for me. Krishkin
Thank you guys. I'm Keith, the greatest Keith of all Keiths. Born into this world a champion. Much love from the Florida man. Woo! Back to you all.
Thank you, Keith. Well, just as diverse as the music of Uzbekistan is, so is their diplomacy. To talk more about that, let's jump into the final lap segment, the friend zone.
Let's learn about the friend zone. Let's see how this friend zone
So as a
went.
Silk Road powerhouse, Uzbekistan is like the businessman of the Central Asia, joining the East with the West.
Uzbekistan has official diplomatic relations with over 140 nations across the world via consulates and embassies.
And it all kind of goes like this.
First of all, India has a long historical tie to Uzbekistan, as Babur, the founder of the Mughal Empire, was from Uzbekistan. And Uzbekistan has also played an important role in mediating between India and Pakistan with the Tashkent Declaration, which set tones after the Indo-Pak War of the 60s, which brings us to Pakistan. The two have generally gotten along. Pakistan is basically Uzbekistan's access to the Arabian Sea, and Pakistan wants access to Central Asian markets. The issue is everything usually has to go through Afghanistan, which brings us to Afghanistan. Afghanistan actually has the second largest population of Uzbeks outside of Uzbekistan, and everything kind of hinges off of who or how Afghanistan is being governed. After the rise of Al-Qaeda,
Let's
they
not
closed
talk
the borders,
about that.
effectively shutting access to Pakistan, which made things complicated.
I do not promote anything. I don't promote anything.
Afghanistan's Taliban, and
Alright
things
then.
have started moving
Okay,
forward a
let's
little
not talk about that.
bit, but things are kind of moving
Alright
forward.
then.
For China, relations go way
Alright then.
back to Silk Road times. But today, the 21st Century Reboot Belt Road Initiative is the biggest project that links the two countries. In addition, they signed a 25-year cooperation agreement in 2021. The one kind of controversial topic would be that Uzbekistan has agreed to cooperate with China in taking in some of the extradited Uyghur activists from the Xinjiang Autonomous Province, as they are closely related to the Uzbeks. This is a topic for another time, but for now, this is just what the situation is. After the breakup of the USSR, it's been a weird kind of back and forth thing with Russia. Like mutual agreement treaties have been signed, but then there was the whole revival of Uzbek culture and language as well as Islam after it was suppressed during Soviet times. But then there was that time in 2014 when Russia forgave most of their debt, but Uzbekistan also withdrew from the CSTO alliance. Overall, relations are good, but they are aware that they are Uzbeks, not the Uzbek SSR. In terms of their best friends, it really depends on which person in which region you ask in Uzbekistan. Like, for example, if you ask Karakalpaks, they'll probably say Kazakhstan is the best friend. If you ask the Khorazm people, they'll probably say Turkmens, as they are basically the cousins. And although not being Turkic, Uzbeks obviously share cultural sentiments with the Tajiks and Iranians. And of course, the Uyghurs in the Xinjiang Autonomous Province of China are the closest relatives to Uzbeks and have the closest related language. In general, Uzbekistan has a strong reputation amongst the Turkic world and will always get along with their Turkic cousins. In conclusion, Jahon, you are the Uzbek. I'm going to give this to you. Take it away. I'm out.
Rahmat, as you could tell, Uzbekistan has always historically lied at the crossroads of different civilizations. That's why the hospitality and taking care of our guests is absolutely imprinted in our DNA. It really is the land of forgotten empires. So make sure to put Uzbekistan on your bucket list, please.
Thank you, Jahon. You did a great job. Thank you for inviting me here to Uzbekistan.
Can I please introduce the next episode?
You've earned it. Go.
Please stay tuned because Vanuatu is coming
Goodbye.
up next.